Happy Friday, everybody. It is great to be alive. My name is Greg, and I am up 129% in these two stocks that I gave to you guys for free on this channel less than 2 months ago. I'm going to do a deeper dive into both of these charts. Hopefully you guys will learn something, and I'm going to show you where I believe both of these stocks are going to go, as I believe they have a lot of room to keep running. So with that, let's go. Hey everybody, happy Friday. Alrighty, as you guys know, my brother and I'm Greg, I'm the older brother. My brother Tim does a lot of the cryptocurrency videos, but you know, the two of us are advocates of sound money. Roughly 9 months ago or so, I came out on the channel and told you guys that I had sold or removed or pulled half of my cash from the stock market, mainly because I don't believe any of the valuations in the stock market these days, except for commodity-based stocks. And what I ended up doing as a lover of sound money, I put the remaining portion of my swing trading account into GDX around $32. Now, I did buy calls on these. I do trade options on these, and we're going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to start on an hourly chart, and we're going to work our way out, because every single chart right now is, I believe, pointing to up moves in the mining sector, specifically gold and silver miners. And I have been out here pounding the table as the sentiment has gone into the absolute toilet on the miners. And I am dead right as I'm out here telling people to buy it, and everything is now starting to move. So let's look at an hourly chart really quickly. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to give you 5 seconds or so. You're going to see this a little bit more clearly on different time frames, but there's an incredibly bullish pattern happening right here. There's actually multiple bullish things going on. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to take a look at it. All right, well, the very first thing I see here, and again, this is an hourly chart, meaning every one of these bars is an hour. And if you're like, why is that important? I believe the smaller time frames, they have less data on them. So while the moves tend to be a little bit more volatile on the shorter time frames, I prefer to look at higher level time frames because it gives you a better gauge of where things are going. But it's interesting, and I think it's very important to look at different time frames because you do get different pictures. But what we have forming here is a huge down move, multiple touches of this lower trend line, which dates back years, is a W pattern forming. We have a low here, a higher low. You can see very clearly the middle of this pattern here. As it started to move up the right side of the base here, it got above all of its moving averages, and it kind of just held or stalled out a little bit right into this pivot, which is incredibly normal in a W pattern. And then note, as it's going sideways, that is a bull flag or a pennant pattern that hit right at the 50 and launched itself out of it. Not only did it launch, it gapped. And look at where that gap went. This is so important. You guys got to look at this stuff. It gapped above resistance. That's incredibly bullish when it does that. And then it just ran. And where did it go? Right above my trend line. Again, technicals, a lot of people think it's voodoo. It's absolutely not. Professionals have algorithms that trade off of this stuff that I am showing you guys here. If you go scroll down at the bottom here, look down at the bottom, it's almost all green buying, or all green bars, excuse me, which is buying, and it's all bigger than the selling. The little pullback here, you guys know I love the number three quick pullbacks right to my trend line and then shot up again. It gapped again. This is getting ready to move a lot higher. Let's move over to a daily time frame. Daily, again, you can see more data on here. These become more powerful, but they are slower moving. Now note too, the moving averages have changed here, but you can still see that W pattern very easily. And if you can't here, let me pull this out for you here. So it's a down move. We got a up move, back down again. I apologize, I do these in real time here, and that is a picture perfect W pattern. These are incredibly bullish, and I guarantee you at the very well, I shouldn't guarantee you can't guarantee anything in this business. Stocks are one of the most humbling businesses you'll ever be a part of, but I would say the probability of this moving at least to the 200 moving average with ease, probably in the next week or two, it's going to get there. I'll probably take a little bit of my position off the table just because I'm essentially all in with the remaining half of my account. So, but I think that we're going to get at least another dollar move on GDX. Let's move out to a weekly time frame. So again, as you go to higher level time frames, these have more, I would say, power to them. So the W pattern, which I just shown you on the last two time frames, is kind of dominating that space. When I move out to a weekly, it's kind of just more of a blip on the screen here. But note too how this is just bouncing around between these trend lines. And again, these are going back literally, decades almost. We've gone going back to 2007-8 where I'm getting these, and they just keep bouncing around here. Now, if you're looking at a weekly, this here is a multi-year cup and handle that played out to the upside, and I think that this pattern from here to here and back is basically just a bull flag or a pennant pattern forming. Now, if we move out to a monthly, it's going to look a little bit, I think, even more bullish, because now I am seeing a decade-long cup and handle pattern. The handle is absolutely perfect, right to a trend line, right to the pivots, and it's starting now to move itself higher. Once this is taken out on GDX, this thing is going to scream, I think, eventually to 45. Then you're looking probably around 50s, and then you're going to go up to the top here, double top, and then it's off to the races to all-time new highs. Now, the other one here, this is a little bit harder to get your hands on if you're not familiar with cryptocurrency. Monero is probably not on your radar, but I believe that just about everybody will be talking about Monero in the next 2 to 5 years. I told everybody on the channel to buy this at $189. Let's go back out to a daily really quickly. It was on this candle right here where I told you guys, or at least I came out on the channel and said, I'm buying this at $189. That day it got to a low, and notice the perfect touch of the 50 of $173, and now we just hit a recent high of $348. And on this candle here, I said I believe this is going to 500, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's start back at the hourly time frame here. What do we have here? This is something I talk about all the time. It's incredibly bullish. You have a low, a higher low, another higher low, another higher low, and then it blasted off. Started to pull back. We got a low. Another higher low is forming. So look at this right here. It's almost like a double bottom, but you've got a low here of 306.90, and then this one right here, a low of 307.99. So it got very close, so that would be support there, but it did put in a higher low. So you got a low, higher low, a third higher low. This, I believe, is going to eventually get up to the top here in the I don't know how quickly this will happen, maybe a week or two, but I believe that this is coming. The move just recently going up near 100%. It's probably got to stall out at least a little bit. Let's move over to a daily time frame here. Now you can see these moves slightly different. There's less it's harder to see the stair stepping or the higher lows, but this right here is just a base that formed. It didn't even handle and is now breaking out of this. Let's move over to a weekly time frame. Note that you're above all of the moving averages. And what is this, ladies and gentlemen? I talk about these all the time. This is a fantastic cup forming, or a base is forming, and it's multiple years long. The longer something bases out, the higher it's going to go, because there's so much energy, pent-up energy built into it. And really, too, if you were to look at this, I suppose you could call this right here, this little bit of consolidation, the handle, and now it's breaking out of that. We move over to a monthly time frame. You can see right here where we're stalling out is right at the top of these candles here. Now, if you're like, I don't even know what Monero is, maybe I should have started that before I started doing the technicals, but Monero is basically a privacy coin. And as governments crack down on people and our civil liberties are continually being eroded, I think coins like this will be sought after in increasing demand. The Coinbase IPO just the other day, I am getting absolutely bombarded by Coinbase advertisements on YouTube. I can't even turn a video on without seeing something about Coinbase. Coinbase is going to, I think, legitimize and bring in the herd. I've been talking about this for a long time. I believe the third wave is here as the average Joe begins to wake up and starts to look at cryptocurrency. I have more and more of my friends of late asking me about it. The average Joe, I've been screaming at everybody to buy Bitcoin when it was $800. Nobody wanted it. Now that it's up and over 60,000, there's a little bit of interest from the general populace. The general populace is almost certainly going to move in en masse once it gets up and over $100,000. Now, I am talking still about Monero here, and I told you guys down at $189, down and around here somewhere, that this was easily going to go to $500. So we are pulling back just slightly because of these candles right here. We may put in some form of a handle. This could drop $100. You know, I don't know, but if a handle pulls in here, I'm going to buy more of this. The next move will, I believe, be up to double top. You're going to take that out, and I think Monero is easily going to $500. And as more and more the general populace comes in and buys Bitcoin above $100,000, what guys like me and people that have been in the space longer and longer, I think, are going to do are start to move in to some of these privacy coins. So if you guys have questions, please let me know. I'm going to try to get out another video today too. I'm going to be working on building a mining rig very shortly, and the chip shortage going on right now in the world is blowing my absolute mind. I did buy 8% of the remaining eBay inventory in GPUs, graphics cards, so that I can just put together a mining rig. It's very, very interesting what is going on. I'm going to try to get another video out today for you guys. Look for that later this afternoon. So with that, everybody, have a great day. See you.